Hey guys, it's me and my dad, Brock, with a brand new video. And let's listen to him now.
Hey YouTubers, what's going on? We're going to give you a little status report and kind of walk you through and show you how everything's growing. Haven't been on in a while, kind of missed showing you a few steps we did, but there's other guys on there showing you how to plant these things, but let's show you some of our results. Okay. First, this is one of the main travelways of the deer on this property, believe it or not. So we tried planting a cover crop out over here, or ways in. I didn't do a soil test, I probably should have. And I didn't drop any lime. But I've never planted anything here, so I was kind of going off the pH level of some of the other spots I grew in. Well, you can see the results. I was hoping for about 5-6 feet tall, and looks like, well, up in here we probably got about 4. It's a little shorter than I had hoped. But I'm going to show you some of the same cover crop in a different area where I did actually drop some lime. I mean, and I did have an idea of what the pH of the soil was. Next year, well, that field there will probably be corn, so I probably won't use the cover crop. I might just plant some soybeans here early, and then I'll maybe change it up in the fall. But yeah, it's okay in spots, but it's not as good. We got a gopher problem there. Layla, you better get your cats on that.
I can't tell them what to do.
Well, they have killed a lot of gophers this year.
Yeah. Poppy does hate me right now, so yeah.
Looks like the deer have been crossing through here. The crops aren't quite growing as good. You see a little path, but that's... Yeah, there's some of it over my head, but just I don't got the results here as I do at the other spot where I planted some of this stuff. But I'll tell you what, I've got some other stuff that I planted in some real sandy soil that I got a lot worse results. But I'm okay with this. We'll see what happens. A couple trees in there peeking above the grass. When we get these trees growing, we won't need this cover crop as much. We'll just be planting food for the most part. Real thick in here. The deer like this stuff. Mainly at night though, that's the problem with not having good tall cover. Deer have been crossing through here really good.
Dad, 3 minutes.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going until we get the footage we need.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a sweet corn, awful purple there. We didn't, I only got about 6 ears off of it because the animals ate most of it. So that's kind of a bummer, but we did eat a little bit. You learn from it. Once again, I didn't soil test, should have. I did fertilize it correctly, but the animals basically took care of what we had coming out of there anyways. But the stalks will provide a little cover, so I'm okay with what we got out of that. There's a Toka plum tree. She's doing all right. I picked all the plums off of this tree this year because it's not a big enough tree to try and produce plums off of it. I'm looking over, just glancing at these hazelnut bushes, and I don't see any nuts coming off of them. I don't know. Last year we had a few nuts coming off of them, so I'm kind of bummed out about that. But it is what it is. There's a couple black ice plum trees. I planted 5 of these 2 years ago. 2 of them are still alive. Found out later that they're a tough one to grow. Yeah. Looks like next year. I did weed whip and mulch these trees, but we got a we still came right through that mulch. So next year I think what we'll do is I'll weed whip it. We'll lay down some of that landscaping mat, and I did that on a few other trees. Got really good results. So it's a learning experience. The deer are coming in through here. Here's some more hazelnut bushes. This is kind of interesting here. Now this tree died earlier this year, but
it's got buds on it.
Yeah, but it looks like we had a little generation, and that's actually, geez, that's 3.5 feet of regeneration, which is probably growing off of the roots from the original tree. So we might possibly get this tree back.
Yes.
We're hoping. Layla's pretty excited about some plums. Once again, I'm looking at these hazelnut bushes, and I'm not seeing any nuts this year. I don't know why not. I don't know much about hazelnut bushes, but no nuts there. Maybe the deer ate them already. I don't know. They ate all my corn. This isn't the greatest corn. Not the greatest looking corn, but still a little bit of cover. These apple trees got hit pretty hard with the cedar rust. I let that kind of get away. Next year I'm going to be spraying more often. I probably sprayed about 3-4 times this year. I thought I didn't do enough research. That's my mistake. Next year we'll be spraying about every 7 to 10 days. Try and keep that pattern up. Keep those. Here's another thing, another learning experience. I planted these maples this year. I'll tell you what, at one point they were looking a lot healthier, had a lot of leaf growth. The deer are coming through and eating the leaves. So, I don't know, as I'm trying to grow trees, you gotta learn what you can get to last economically. I can't fence in every tree on the property, especially when I plant 600 trees in a year. This is a tree I planted 3 years ago. It was a seedling tree. It's above my waist, so this white pine here is going real good. The pines do pretty good out here. Let's see. Got a red oak there that actually didn't get eaten. That's surprising because the deer have eaten most of the leaves off the red oak that I planted this year. This I'm pretty impressed with. This is a pine tree a white pine we planted this year, and it's looking really healthy. We planted about 600 trees this year. Bad part was we had about a 2 to 3 week drought right after we planted them. I can't predict Mother Nature, so we kind of lost out there. That sucks, but you always lose some of those seedling trees. There's a decent amount that made it. We'll just keep pounding away, planting trees, and see what happens. We're thinking about 2025 we'll have a lot of good trees for some cover out here. So this right here, this is that cover crop. This is my best looking crop out of the cover stuff. Layla, why don't you back up on the food plot and just kind of give them a view of how tall this stuff is. This is probably, I mean, I'm 5'9". This is well over my head. Some of it's got to be 7 foot, really thick. So we've got our food plot here. I just planted this. This is Destination, Whitetail Institute's product. It's looking pretty good. I planted that probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a little earlier than you should. You should plant your fall food plots right around the beginning of August. I went in probably around July 23rd, I think, but there was good rain coming, and it was just, I had the right time to do it. So this looks good. I also planted this winter wheat really early. It's germinating good. We'll see. I was just trying to get the tractor all my stuff done, so I wasn't disturbing the deer as much. Although being back here, shouldn't be back here that often. If I'm gonna I want to document what I'm doing out here so I can see my results for the future. You know, you gotta adapt to what's working best. Here's some more of that cover crop. It's pretty short stuff. Not even above Layla's head. But once again, that's real sandy soil. I didn't do a soil test. I put some lime in when I tilled in some lime, but probably should have been a little more soil prep. But and maybe possibly it just isn't good enough soil, as sandy as it is. I mean, down there, planted it on the same day. Some of that stuff way down there is in pretty good shape, almost as good a shape as the stuff down there. We got the varmints coming in.
What are...
I don't know if that's a badger hole or what. I can't identify what critters are in what holes very good myself.
what happened here? Why is the path so big here?
I widened it up to put some of that winter weed in. I wanted to show you something that good learning experience for me this year. Good results. So that's a white oak. Most people don't plant white oaks just because of the growth rate, you know. But those were 2 footers I purchased, 2 to 3 footers, and it was a really good year for rain. I probably got about close to a foot of growth off that thing, and it's looking really healthy now. I did put, if you put the camera down there, Layla, you can see that the landscaping mat is in there before I mulched, and it kept a lot of the other growth around it from coming up, which helps that tree. I think my allergies are starting to hit. This is, excuse me, chicory that we planted earlier this year. I never mowed it, probably should. Definitely planted it way too thick, but it's here. The deer are barely nibbling on it now. We'll see if they start hitting on it a little later. Excuse me. Take a look at the pond.
We're starting to glitch, Dad.
It's okay.
Okay.
We also, here's a white spruce we planted this year, looking pretty healthy. You know, once in a while it's tough to see all the trees we planted with all the green. So here's the pond. It's still holding water. Still got plenty of deer tracks around it. I think this pond was definitely well worth it. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have any water sources close to your hunting spot, this is a good